So impressed with myself right now. Oh my God, this isn't even about me. Hello, my friends. Welcome to live chat. I am so excited to be here with the fabulous Jaime French. If you are not familiar with her content, I'm sad for you but I'm going to be happy for you because you are going to check it out and it's going to bring so much joy to your life. Jaime is kind enough to come on and she is going to be answering some of your questions that I am very excited to ask her because you all came up with some of the best questions that I've ever seen. Like, this is like, y'all did all my work for me. So thank you so much for that. You guys are amazing. But before I interview Jaime, real quick, I just want to say hello to the first people that were here first. Just to say hello to Marianne and Cynthia and Mel. And my husband, JG3, is in the house. Let's see, Melissa and Sandra and classically Diana Saucer, Jess and P. Musov and Teresa MO and the rest of the mod squad. Thank you so much for being here and for helping us out. Appreciate it. All right. So Miss Jaime French, welcome. So happy to have you here.
It's an honor. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so good to have you. And this is a very special time for you because you've hit 2 milestones very recently. You passed 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if you have not heard this, 1 million followers on Facebook. Holy crap, Jaime.
Oh, it sounds so much weirder when someone else says it.
It's amazing. Like,
Thank
oh my
you so
gosh,
much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have entered this world of YouTube and Facebook and creating videos. Like, what made you initially want to get into doing this?
I've reflected on that so many times. The initial thought of making videos, happened when I was a little kid. My best friend had her parents' video camera and we were allowed to play with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, got one for my 12th birthday. And that obsession just continued all throughout high school. And so I guess once I saw that people were doing it on YouTube and that you could make a living, I was like, I'm there. That has to be my life.
Nice. I was told that you're a tiny bit quiet. Is there any way to turn you up just a little bit?
Sure. Let's see
just
here.
A little bit.
I'm afraid to blast people.
Okay.
Is that better?
Probably. All right. I'll let you know because there's like a 30-second delay. So I'll let you know. Okay. So that's kind of like the way that I always wanted to do something like this. And it's like, wow, this is a job. Like, this is a thing. Like, I can do this. Like, that's so cool.
And you don't have to be like a famous actress or anything. You can actually just do it out of your, basement or whatever room.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the beauty of YouTube, is that anybody really can do it that just has the vision for doing it.
Yeah, it reminds me, I was thinking when I was in high school, I was in student council, and one of my biggest projects that I organized for the school was the student film festival. And it dawned on me when I was thinking about this interview, because I knew we were going to talk about this, and I was like, I can't believe how far back my obsession goes with people creating their own content. I hosted this thing, I had trophies ordered for people to submit their own movies, and it was this big deal, and here I am still doing that.
Wow, that's so cool. It's like ingrained in some of us to do things like this.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Now, you have done a lot of different things on YouTube up to this point. You did beauty reviews and you did all these different things, but now it seems like you've kind of hit a stride of some new styles of content, including your amazing movies and makeup series where you're doing your makeup, most of the time doing your makeup, and reviewing an old, typically one that I don't want to offend anybody, but one that is seen as the lower production quality or lower script quality or lower acting quality.
The worse, the better.
The worse, the better. Exactly. So how's things kind of changed for you since you started doing that, and then of course you're doing your makeup to different decades and time periods? Like how have things changed for you?
It's so weird. In my confidence, like everything has shifted. In the beginning, I was very confident in my makeup skills, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is what I have to offer. This is what I should make videos about. And I never thought I could make a funny video. Because all I had to go off of was my old cringy like childhood skits, and none of those are remotely funny. So I didn't think I could make a funny video. And then over time I got the hang of editing, and I was like, kind of have some comedic timing here. Like I can make this video a little bit funnier. And now it's kind of shifted, and I feel like I'm an incredibly mediocre makeup artist, and I'm better at just being stupid. So that was just that's kind of where, so then I got more confident. I was like, oh, I have a funny idea. Let's see if it works. So we did Tiny Hands.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's home.
Hi, husband.
Tiny Hands was successful. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So slowly but surely, I just realized being silly was working better for me. And it's actually more fun for me too. I can really be myself and not feel like I have to be so professional.
Yeah, you've kind of hit that stride there. Now, as far as the editing goes, I know a lot of us are very impressed with your editing for the movie ones, because not only do you sit and do your makeup and talk about the movie and insert clips from the movie, but you also sometimes insert yourself into the actual movie through a green screen. Like, what? Like the first time I saw you do that, I went, like, like I would never do that, because it seems like so much work. Like how much effort and time does it take you to like get all of that together?
Oh my gosh. I guess the whole process, I have to, watch the movie first, take notes. I like to watch it at least twice, take notes over everything, note anything I found funny, and then I choose the scenes I want to green screen. And then we have a whole day, like usually on Mondays, I have Nick out here and my cousin. Nick holds the boom mic. My cousin helps with the lights. I write out my script. I have to time everything. Like, I have to write out what the actual character in the movie says and come up with what I want to say in response to make the conversation make sense. And then we have to kind of position things to where I'm facing the same direction. I have the same light shining on my face that the characters do. Because, it sounds
that's so incredible.
But it sounds excessive, but I love it so much. Like,
yeah.
And I'm so picky. I'm like, no, the lighting was wrong, because I think it's less funny if it doesn't look like I blend in. So I want it to look like I was actually in, the scene.
How did you learn how to do that?
Just over time. Like, I used to do it as a kid. I would take my video camera and I would film my TV, and then I would film myself and talk back and forth with the characters in the movie.
Wow.
And then I don't even know how the first time I ever did it as an adult was I made this little TikTok video where I was interacting with Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars. And I was like, hey, that worked. The green screen actually worked. And then I was watching, I know who I was watching. I was watching Laugh Cable. I don't know if you guys follow Laugh Cable. He has one of my favorite channels. He just makes fun of people. I hope he makes fun of me one day, but he has the best timing and the best editing. And he did a video called How I Edit My Videos. And I was like, I got to see. And I learned from him something called keyframing, where you can track movements. So that gave me a light bulb. I was like, oh my gosh, I could put myself in any movie, because I could just track the actor behind me. If they move, I could move my body to cover them up. So that's where that just snowballed into what it is now.
Wow, unbelievable. Now, the first one that you did was the Buttercream Gang, right?
And I didn't put myself in that one.
No, you didn't. Not yet. But even then, I remember watching that one and being like, oh my gosh, this must have taken so much time and so much effort. And the first one initially didn't get as much love as I thought it should have.
Oh,
Like
really?
initially, but now, I mean, it looks like it did great. But initially, did you get discouraged at all after the first one? Like maybe this isn't going to take off and maybe I shouldn't put so much effort into it, or?
No, my expectations are always low, especially trying something new. So I didn't think I was going to get any good feedback. I thought people were going to be like, "What are you doing? You can't do makeup and talk about a movie." I had never heard of anybody doing it. Now I know there's people who do it, but so the fact that I got good feedback at all, I was like, okay, and I had enough fun doing it to, propel me forward.
Well, like I remember reading the comments initially because I was like in it, like watching the first one, and the comments blew up with people so excited about it,
Everybody
like so
had
happy.
seen it.
Yeah, I hadn't.
But
but man, people were so excited and so happy. And then the second one that you did was Glitter. Was that the second one, or not Glitter? What's it called? The Mariah Carey one.
Yeah, it was Glitter. I can't remember the order. Yeah.
And then, see, I'm telling you, I watched them all. And then that was when I felt like it was like, okay, great. Yay, it's picking up. Because I wanted you to this is why I brought it up, is because I wanted you to make more so badly. So I was like crossing my fingers, like, please let this do well. Please let this do well. Because I selfishly wanted to see more of them. And I didn't want you to stop doing them.
I love hearing that.
So it was like, please keep doing this. Like, I loved it so much. If you're watching this and you have not seen them, I will make sure to link some down below for you. I'll link my favorite ones because I think I've seen them all.
I wish I could make more, like more frequent.
Well, I mean, you're putting a lot into them, so it makes sense. It makes sense. Now, speaking of that, the character of Tammi that you've created that sometimes appears.
She's like in the next one too.
She's in the next. Oh my gosh. So I had a really great question that someone had asked if you ever considered doing like a video, like a behind the scenes video of how you get ready to be Tammi, because some people think that that's like you've like put on like prosthetics and like all kinds of things. Like people were like, this doesn't even look like her. Like you look like an entirely different person.
Thank you. And the funniest part about that is that that's just what I look like. Like obviously with different facial expressions.
Right.
I would do a transformation video, but it would only be 30 seconds because I would just brush out my hair and not wear any makeup and put on a baggy shirt and just, get in there like this, change my voice, and she's there.
She's amazing. She's absolutely
amazing. Even like my friend Nikki, who works with me sometimes on Friday, she's been in a few of my videos. She told me that some of her friends were asking her, how does she look like that? And Nikki was like, she just brushes her hair.
I think it's just your incredible acting skills, to be honest. I think, honestly, you just embody her so well.
Thank you. Growing up in Missouri, that's how everyone was. And like my first job not my first job, but my first big girl job as a hairstylist. I don't know if it was the location of where I worked or what, but I cut so many people's hair that were literally her. And it's not hard to act because I just repeat, mannerisms and stuff that I've seen. That and the lady from that movie Monster, she was a big inspiration.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. So do you know about how many of those you've done, the movie ones?
Oh, no, I actually don't. Maybe 10.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, my favorite, like you mean video that I've made or bad movie that I've watched?
All of them. Let's go with both. Favorite bad movie and favorite of all time.
Oh my gosh. I think both my favorite bad movie and my favorite video is, I think the one with the lowest views, which was Rad, the movie Rad. That gave me so much joy watching it because it was so bad, but so great. And I had so much fun talking about it. And it's interesting even hearing myself say that because some of the comments said, I felt like you used to really be excited for this series and now it seems like a chore. And I was like, this is my favorite video I've ever done.
I love that one too. And it's funny because I used to watch Rad. It was one of those ones when I was a kid, there were certain movies I would watch over and over and over again. And Rad was one of them.
Really?
And I never picked up on how big of jerks the characters were and how inappropriate the little girl was. Like now looking back, it's like, well, yeah, why didn't I pick up on that? I just thought that the guys were cool. I didn't
Right.
like, I wasn't thinking about, oh yeah, they're throwing the paper and hitting somebody with their paper and they're running over people's cars and
Yeah, they
like,
hit that old man, and I was like,
I
oh,
know, like
don't hit
what?
an old man. Well, flaws like that are always invisible to, young eyes and
Yeah.
ears.
Oh yeah, it just goes right over you. Like you don't even realize how big of jerks people are until you're older and you're like, wait, what?
And how creepy some of the, like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Rigoletto. I had never seen it until
Yeah.
my viewers recommended it, and that was a creep fest to me. But
Yeah.
young people don't see it, and that's a good thing. I don't want,
Yeah.
I would hate for a little kid to be cynical in that way and be like, hey,
Yeah.
he's creepy. But I see it now for sure.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. It's crazy like that. Oh, let me see. I'm just going to click on this. So many people are like talking about how much they love Rad.
Jill loves Rad.
So, oh, there's Audra. Hey, Audra.
Hi, Audra. I was just watching you the other day on my TV.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of Audra, she just put up a cooking video. I think it might be her first cooking video. You should go watch it. It's hilarious.
Oh,
so
yay.
Just as a suggestion. So, yes. So obviously we're going to keep going with the movie videos. We're going to keep going as much as we can, I guess, with the decade, recreating the makeup as much as you can. I mean, eventually you might, I guess you would run out of decades to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them. And I like the 90s and the 80s. I wasn't really there for the 80s. I was born in 89, but my mom, that was like, I could easily learn and get inspiration, but there's some decades that I would have to research, and I know if I try and do them, I'm going to be wrong. I haven't done the 60s or anything yet, because I know people from the 60s are going to be like, that's not how it was done.
Well, there isn't as much video footage from back then.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the 20s, there was very little. I had to go off photos and everything. I could probably find more for certain decades, but I hate getting it wrong. Like I'll Google. Yes. I Googled before the 80s video, did people say fat back then, like PHAT? And according to Google, they did. And I
really?
And I got 1,000 comments that were like, nobody said that back then. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm with you too. Especially because like you'll get one comment about how you're wrong about something, and you're like, you can't go back and change it. You can't add an annotation. You can't say, yes, I get it. This isn't correct. And then you get another person, and especially with you, with your videos that become so popular, and then you get people that don't know you coming in, and they're like, you got this wrong. You're the most awful person ever, or something like that. Like I can only imagine.
Yeah, and I have learned. I think I tweeted about it once. I complained, and I instantly regretted it. I was like, people don't mean to do that, they don't realize that 1,000 other people have corrected me, so I don't take it personally.
Yeah, I try really hard too. I'm the same way, where I take it personally at first. I used to like block people and comment back, and I was terrible for a while because I just got so mad. Oh yeah, I was block happy. Well, because people were mean. It was only when people were mean like about it, but
below the belt.
Yeah. But now I'm like, whatever.
I used to not block anybody. I was like, no, anyone can disagree with me. I still feel this way.
Yeah.
But then you do it so long and you realize you can't convince, even if I were to respond back and show people facts, people are going to believe what they want to believe. I can't convince them. And there's no need for, me to have someone hitting me below the belt. So I block people more now, but I was like anti-block back in the day.
Yeah, but I think at some point when it gets really mean, blocking is mental health when it comes down to it. But I think it's really blocking the people that are meaning harm rather than the people that may be just trying to help you with something or tell you something or teach you something.
Right, being constructive.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that your channel is doing so well, YouTube channel is doing so well, you're doing so well on Facebook, I haven't ever seen you do a sponsored video. And someone was very curious why you don't really do sponsored videos, and if you ever plan on doing sponsored videos in the future.
Yeah, I've done a few. I just did one with Scentbird not too long ago. I don't mind doing. I don't know. For myself personally, I'm always torn. I don't care when anyone else does them. In fact, it's a great way for me to like learn about new products and stuff. I'm not one of those people that's ever cared if someone did a lot of them. For me, I turned down 90% of them just because I don't like being on anyone else's schedule or timeline. I'm used to being my own boss now. But I also go back and forth. I'm like, if this is a product I already love and I'm talking about it anyway, it would be stupid for me not to, work with this brand. Right. So I go back and forth. I'm going to do less, I think, this next year, just because mainly because I don't like you're working for someone else basically. And I'm so spoiled by working for myself that, if there's a deadline, then I'm stressed out and it might take away from my creativity. But I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a solid way to earn a living, provided you're honest and it's a brand that you already like and would be promoting anyway.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Definitely. Yeah. And I forgot that you had done the Scentbird one. Actually, I think somebody had mentioned that to me. I might have missed that one, but I personally really am a big fan of Scentbird. But a couple of years ago, I had done a Scentbird a sponsorship, and my audience said that they had difficulty with their customer service and different things.
Oh, really?
Just selfishly, did anybody in your audience mention that like recently?
No,
not with video. No.
Not with Scentbird specifically. That's a couple of people told me that I should read the room and that I shouldn't be, promoting it. She said, I wish influencers would read the room and realize that it's a pandemic. We're trying to survive. We can't buy perfume.
Oh, gotcha.
And I get it. I just, then I wouldn't promote anything. I wouldn't even talk about anything that I was using if I,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had that same comment on my $1.99 a month join button that I have for my community. So and it's $1.99. So I think it's just, everybody just has to decide what they can spend on and what they can't. And if you can't spend on something, then don't buy it. And allow it for other people.
Yeah, that's what another thing I was going to say is I'm never bothered when someone else does a sponsorship, because I trust myself as a consumer on whether or not I don't feel pushed by somebody on the internet making a video. So it's never really bothered me, but I know some people feel like you're being pushy or, disingenuous.
Yeah, but I think if you stick, like you were saying, I think if you stick to only doing sponsored videos for products that you genuinely like, and that you're turning down the ones that are just, whatever, app, like merging puppies or something. It's like, I don't want to merge puppies. No thanks. I don't merge puppies in my spare time. I'm not going to do a sponsored video. So I think
it also depends on what they're asking you to do. So I think I took a sponsorship last year or 2 years ago with Yes Style before I had, I hadn't been a regular customer for years, but it once I saw what it was, and all they were asking me to do is try the stuff. They weren't saying, you have to say we're amazing. You have to say you've been using us for years. So it also depends on what they're asking of you too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that definitely 100%. Because I never guarantee 100% positive review of anything, even in a sponsored post.
Right.
So
it's just telling people that it exists, and that's always been fine with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Absolutely. Another question that people were asking about with regard to it's okay. With regard to your content, was about live videos, and if you would ever consider doing more lives, if they just wanted to spend more time with you and be able to ask you more questions and things like that.
I enjoy doing them. It's just it's so hard to explain. If you could just picture, I mean, not you, Jen, because I know you probably know how this feels, but for the viewers, if you could picture thousands of people complimenting you at once, you think it's this sounds amazing. And I mean, it is. I appreciate all of my viewers, but it also makes you feel like an imposter. You're like, and I see it a lot. And so it happens, obviously, for anybody who puts themselves out online. But a live video, you're seeing my reaction to it. And so I'm it's almost uncomfortable. I don't know how to act. You're getting showered with adoration. And I remember my dad, after my last live video, he called me afterwards and he was like, that was, as a dad, so interesting to just see you being showered with compliments by thousands. And that has to, people talk about imposter syndrome.
Right. Right.
you feel a little like, oh my gosh, I'm so undeserving this. People send money and all the while watching you react to it. So they make me nervous on a deeper level than just, oh, I'm talking to thousands of, oh, I'm putting on a live video. It's like a more,
Yeah.
It's a deeper thing that I struggle with that. And on Instagram, I thought it would be a little easier because it's a smaller audience.
Right.
But then Instagram is like people request to be in your live video. And which I also love. Like I love interacting with my viewers, but then I feel, oh, I didn't accept this person. I accepted this person. And then I feel, like I hurt someone's feelings, and I end up getting so stressed out about everything that I.
So it's more like a fear of being misinterpreted kind of thing.
Yeah, or hurting somebody, or just,
yeah.
It's just an interesting position to be in that I never really foresaw when I, started doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to react wrongly. You don't want to like have the wrong facial expression and then somebody screenshots it and they're like, look at the way she reacted. She's so ungrateful or whatever.
Yes. And so many of people giving to me, and all I can say is like, thank you so much. I can't believe this. You guys are so sweet. But inside your mind, you're like, I do not deserve the love these people are giving me right now. It's just a weird. I always feel for like celebrities or anybody who does this type of thing, for a living on a larger scale. That has to be such a, I could never like sing in front of thousands and thousands of people in a stadium.
No, you don't think so?
How do you deal with people loving you that much?
Well, I think that part of the disconnect, I think, on YouTube is that when we film videos, we're just filming it to a camera. Yes. There's nobody there. Like we're not looking at a human being, and we're not realizing the impact that we have on people in their homes because we don't physically see it. And people can tell us, but it's like it just doesn't quite seem real that we could be making that impact, and it's difficult to wrap your brain around.
Yeah, that's a good point. Live videos make it real.
It does,
because you're seeing it real time and interacting with people. And I don't want to come across that I appreciate all of it.
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't, Yeah. It's just you feel unworthy. I notice it more during live videos, but I'm not opposed to it. I also feel like if I could just, stop overthinking it so much and relax and get used to it, it would probably be a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. And you can turn off the super chat stuff. Like if you don't want people to like donate and all that stuff, like you can turn that off and just, yeah. So that might make it a little easier too, just as a.
That's what I was telling you before we started. Like, I never look at my analytics or anything I can do in my YouTube dashboard. I need to get better at
that. We'll have a little session after.
Yeah, you're going to teach me.
Yeah, it's a lot of information to take in and to know what to filter out, what to, put your heart into and what to just kind of be like, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So beyond YouTube, YouTube, this is such a crazy stinking job, like it's beautiful and wonderful. We get to work for ourselves. We get to, make whatever content we want. Like we get to interact with people. It's awesome. But let's imagine we're in a world where YouTube does not exist and Facebook does not exist. What job do you think you might be interested in doing? What do you think you'd be doing?
Oh man, so many things. I go through phases. Like I would love to be able to be an actress, but I don't think I could handle everything that comes along with that, but just some other form of telling stories like that and being stupid. I would love to actually edit for other people. In fact, when the day comes that I need to hang it up on YouTube, if I am no longer relevant or however you word that, I would like to edit for other people. And then there's other like polar opposite things I would like to do, like being a crime scene investigator.
What is it about a crime scene investigator that's attractive to you?
It's probably the dark part of my soul that's just fascinated by stuff like that. I literally looked into being a a coroner for a while when I was a
Wow.
hairstylist. Yeah, anything with like anatomy and investigating the cause of things like that. Or I love watching, I mean, most of us all like watching, forensic files and finding how they solve stuff, and anything that requires attention to detail and having, being investigative. I feel like I just would never have the energy to go through school to do it.
That's a lot, I'm sure. That's a lot. Well, we can see your attention to detail in your green screening, how you're saying with the light, that the light needs to be in the right place. Like, I'm never going to be able to unsee that. Like, now, next time I watch it, it's like, the light is in the right place. Like, wow, like, she thought of that. Like, I would never think of that. Like, that's just, so I can see where.
That you'll notice it if I feel like maybe in the beginning I wasn't doing it. And if someone is really all evenly lit with like softbox lights like I am right now, you just stick out like a sore thumb.
Right.
So you'd probably notice it if I didn't do it.
Yeah, probably. But I didn't know I was looking for it. Like, it's one of those things, like, when you're so good at something, I think that's one of the things is it just kind of blends in. Like, it's so seamless. You don't even realize like all of the things that are going into something like that. Yeah, the color grading of it and everything too. Like, I can't even color grade just my regular background I use every single damn time.
It's hard. And like for the 90s movies, I have to add film grain and add noise and add a Gaussian blur. And it's a huge thing. But if you don't do it, it's just less funny to me.
Yeah, because you stand out. It's like a cookie cutter, like stands on top.
Nick's always like, he's like, don't worry so much about it. It's if it looks terrible, that's funnier, but we just disagree on that because I think it's the funniest. If I like, my favorite comment is when people are like, I didn't realize that you weren't in the movie.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, that is fabulous. I love that for you. It's so cool. Just to be able to like edit it to that point, like just.
Yeah, and if it's like if you ever wanted to be in a movie, if that's any of the viewers watching, if that's your dream, just get a green screen and you can.
Yeah, just put yourself in it. Just do it. That's insane. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. So we all know that you also are an incredible singer.
Oh.
So, which you probably don't want me saying that because I just learned about the compliment thing. So I got to pull it back a little bit.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I just don't want to make you uncomfortable. So,
no. I appreciate.
But you are a very good singer. And I remember watching a video a while back where you did different singers, like you did sang a song, and you did different singer, like you did like Celine Dion, and you did these different styles. Like, do you think that your attention to detail, like that's how you were able to do all of those voices, like, or you think it's just, I don't know, how did you do that?
I guess so. I guess some people just, what I've noticed is most people who are decent singers are often decent impersonators. For you to understand music and how to, sing with your own voice, you often end up noticing nuances with other people's voices. So I guess it is kind of oops, sorry.
It's okay.
Thought my mic just went crazy. I guess it is like an attention to detail with how other people hold their, pronounce their vowels and place their larynx. I'm not like trained in singing, so I don't know the right words, but
You're not trained in singing at all?
Well, I was in choir. I just didn't get like individual voice lessons, and I wish I would have, because I feel like I could never do, a live concert or anything because my voice gives out because I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
So I could probably make 3 songs and then I'm getting hoarse right now, like I don't know what I'm doing.
Wow. So you never got like individual voice lessons. That's crazy, because you're a very good singer. Like it's yeah, like you're one of those people, like, those people that just seem to be good at everything. Like, you just seem like that to me. Like, that's, you know what I'm talking about? Like, those people that you like secretly on the sly, like, are like, how are they so good at everything?
I know,
like, you got that, like, oh, like how?
I know people like that, but I don't feel like, I feel like I'm mediocre at a whole bunch of things instead of just honing one craft. I'm like, I want to do this and this and this.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I see, but like with me though, because with my ADD, like I like focusing on lots of different things. So
Yeah.
the fact that your content is so varied with different things, like you got the movie thing, and then you got the decade thing, and then you do like things like the tiny hands and the tiny face and all that. Like that fits me perfectly because I like all of those things. So
Oh,
like I
good,
can do
good.
like I can flip around to all the different things. But to me, it shows just how multifaceted you are with your content,
Oh,
like, and your ability to do lots of different things. I don't know.
thank you. I mean, and to me, like it says a lot about the viewer too. If you're someone who appreciates that, then that also says to me that you're multifaceted and that anyone who is what like who enjoys my content is, because there's so many people who have told me to stick to one thing. So I feel like there's
Mm,
just different types of people,
yeah.
and you're either open to multiple weird things like that, or so many people are
Yeah.
like, just pick one thing, pick a are you a singer? Are you a comedian? What are you, a makeup artist? And
Mm.
so that's
Yeah. You know what? But it seems like you aren't listening to those people that are telling you to just stick to one thing. So what's going through your head when you're like, you know what? I'm not going to listen. I'm going to do whatever. Like, what are you thinking? Like, how?
just what goes through my head is just how bad I want to do it. Like if
Mm.
I get an idea and I think it's hilarious and I'm laughing out loud thinking about how I could make it and ideas are coming to me, then I have to do it despite if everybody hates it or not.
And that's one thing that's such a joy about this job, is that we have the freedom to do those things. You know,
Yes.
it's such a thing. And I don't, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not thankful for that ability to have that freedom. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful that you took that, freedom and decided to just do what you wanted to do, because now you're attracting this audience who really appreciates all of the things you love. And it just kind of goes to, sometimes you're never going to make everybody happy. So you might as well make yourself happy and do what you want.
Yeah. And that I've heard different advice from different YouTubers. Some people will say just create content for you, just do what you like.
Right.
And those people who like it will follow. And
Mhm.
then a lot of people are like, well, if people aren't viewing this, try something else. Like basically make
Right.
videos until you get the views.
Yeah.
I've heard both sides of it. And I mean, if I was too concerned about what other people think, I'm sure you feel the same way, then we would just burn out.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. And like I've had people say to me, oh, you only create videos for views. And it's like, well, do you tell the football player he's only playing for points? Because that's kind of his job, is to like get points. So at YouTube, it's kind of our job to create things that people want to watch.
Yeah, that has to
AKA
be
views.
that has to be a fact. Yeah, it's kind of like being like, you only go to work for the money,
Like, oh,
that has to be a factor. It's just it
yeah.
shouldn't be, the domineering, like
Right.
I'm gonna do something out of character just so it would get
Yes.
more views.
Yes. So I think that's where the line is, personally, is, are you doing something that is out of character for you, or something that you don't want to do because you think that other people will watch it, or selling out your soul and doing something, awfully
Mhm.
mean or horrendous
Yes.
to in order to get the views, when that's not part of who you are.
Yeah, dragging someone else,
Yeah.
making a video where you're ripping apart another creator, that'll get you views for sure.
Right. Yeah.
But can
Yeah.
you
Well,
sleep at night
especially if they
after?
don't, yeah, if they didn't deserve it, especially, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Because, I'm kind of guilty of that a little bit here and there, but only when they really
No.
deserved it. So,
I don't feel like you drag, and I've
no, not
always,
really. It's more just providing information.
yeah, that, and I watch stuff like that.
Yeah.
YouTubers are who I'm interested in. I'm not gonna go and pick up a copy of like People magazine and read about celebrities.
Right.
I watch YouTubers, so I'll watch, stuff like that where someone's telling me the news and telling me what
Yeah,
happened.
definitely. Yeah, but I think that it's more when you're providing information because you're trying to help people understand a situation. It's different than just doing something just for views, just
Mhm.
because, you don't care who you hurt, you don't care what the consequences are. Like, I think that that's the distinction, at least for me, is
Yeah.
when you're purposely trying to hurt people.
And there's a YouTuber, oh my gosh, I went down like a rabbit hole. There's a YouTuber named Amberlynn Reed. And I mean, I cannot believe some of the content people make about this girl. Like, it's so far beyond reporting the news or whatever, saying what she's doing. I mean, it's like so thousands of, not thousands, but it seems like there's hundreds of channels that exist basically to bully her, you know? And I just can't relate to that. I've never cared enough about what someone else was doing with their life to want to make a video ripping them apart, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, especially when you're just focusing on one person. Like, that's a lot of effort.
Yes.
A lot of thought. It's a lot of thought, like rent-free in your brain. That's a lot of thought.
That's a good way to put it, rent-free.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I guess the people that I care about in my life are the ones that are more rent-free in my brain, the ones that bring me positive vibes.
Right. Some things that make you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we hope anyway. That's what we hope. And speaking of happy things, we'll talk a little bit more about your channel. So with your content, it seems to get funnier and funnier. Like that it's just you kind of go in a bunch of different directions with your comedy, whether it's just kind of off the cuff with the tutorials and things with like the tiny hands and with this little face challenge or tiny face challenge. And then, you know, we do the movies, which is a little bit different. And then the decades, which is a little bit different. Do you have favorite comedians that you kind of look up to that are people you might draw some inspiration from? Or
yeah. Excuse me. I mean, my whole life it was all comedians I would watch in movies, you know, Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Farley, all of like the 90s comedians we grew up with. I love Kristen Wiig. I think she's so versatile and has impeccable timing. YouTubers, the person I laugh the hardest at is Drew Gooden. And he was a huge inspiration to me to do the bad movie reviews, because I give myself these rules, and it never even occurred to me that I could do that. And you know, seeing him just review bad movies and rip them apart, I was like I do that at home, you know, why not do it on YouTube? And I also, she's not a comedian, but I definitely have to credit Bailey Sarian for helping pioneer the whole doing makeup and telling an unrelated story. You know, that those two together, you know, have inspired me a lot with the movie thing. I feel like I didn't answer that earlier when you asked.
Yeah, that's okay.
And like I said, Laugh Cable, I laugh really hard at his stuff. I mean, oh my gosh, there's a girl on Instagram I love, Erica Priscilla. She makes fun of influencers. Someone tell me her Instagram handle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know.
She is the funniest. I just cry laughing at every single video she posts.
Oh my goodness. And I have all these people I have to look up now that we're like done. It's like, okay, all right, taking notes. All these people. I'll watch it on the replay and write down everybody's names.
Yeah, you recommended. Especially now, like during this time, you just gotta laugh.
Oh yeah. With like, you know, the are you in lockdown in your state? Probably not, right? Like
certain counties. So St. Louis County is pretty much locked down. You can't go inside most buildings, but the county I live in is a little, I don't think the rates are as high here, but I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, we're not, well, we are on like they've got restaurants closing early and like things like that, but it's not like super strict. We are, as a family, locked down. Gotcha. But that's kind of like, you know, we're just kind of trying to stay away from all of the things because our numbers in Maryland are going like way up. So we're trying to like kind of just at least protect our, you know, do what we can for ourselves. So, so have you been like during this whole COVID thing, like have you been able to like find any like new hobbies or games or movies or anything that you've been like super interested in? Like,
literally all like my channel, you know, all the new stuff I've been doing with the movie reviews, and that has been like a huge thing. I've dived. What's the past tense of
dove?
Dove.
I used to teach grammar, you know.
Oh, there we go. Into.
Yeah.
And that like I haven't really that I feel like that's the cool thing about this job is that it's a job and a hobby. It's a jobby.
Mm. Yeah.
And so other than that, I mean, I attempted like when we first got quarantined to learn piano, I thought I was gonna, play the ukulele, but that fizzled out real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just been
Ukulele's
enjoying.
fun. You should learn how to play the ukulele. You should. You could do it. I know you could.
Oh, I learned. It
Oh,
was
you
just
did.
mhm.
You just
I
kind of
just
didn't. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to keep doing it. It felt like a chore.
Oh, that's so sad. That's actually one thing I've stopped doing is I have a ukulele group that
Really?
yes, I have no, when we don't like perform or anything. We go over to my best friend's house and we play ukulele every Tuesday.
Oh my
And yeah, I
gosh.
mean, it's just a fun thing. Like it's just like a goofy little fun thing that we do together.
Do you
But
sing?
we try. None of us are very good singers.
You're probably better than you think you are.
No. Probably not. There's actually, I did do a video with my ukulele recently. I did not perform well where I'm in my bathtub with my ukulele. So if you ever do want to hear me singing and playing the ukulele, it was
Oh my
a
gosh.
spa routine that I did.
I
So
saw that thumbnail and I haven't
yes,
seen
it was, it's not, it's a very odd video.
I mean,
It's a very odd video, but it was so fun. And that's what it comes like, Jamie, like we were talking about, you have to do things that bring you joy.
yes.
And for me, that video was not about getting views. That video was about just having fun and putting on a unicorn sheet mask and drinking a little mini bottle of twist off cap wine and playing the ukulele in my bathtub. And I had so much freaking fun filming that video. It didn't even matter. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter.
that's what is that I think is great is that you still post, that
Oh yeah.
you were probably a little nervous, especially if you're not used to singing and you still posted that. People take that for granted sometimes, I think, like, and
Yeah.
are quick to leave, some kind of weird comment, but it's like it took a lot, to
Well, I think that I was being so silly about it. And it was just just one off, just really fun thing. And that's kind of what I kind of have to make YouTube be at this point, because like we were talking about before with my channel, I've really wanted to have more fun recently. I changed my name from Jen Loves Reviews to just Jen Love, and just trying to have more fun, because if we're not having fun with this job, then it's like it kills the whole point of having a job like this, is if we're not having fun.
And it, like we were talking about earlier, your viewers pick up on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. It's so weird. Like, how did you know? Like, or Jamie and I were talking before we came on. I was like, people were saying, you look like you're having so much more fun now. It's like, no, but I was faking it before, and I was doing a really good job faking I was having fun. Like, you didn't believe that?
Not have been able to tell that I was bored.
You shouldn't have known that, but people do, man. People are smart.
Yes, people are insightful, and I mean, people knew I had a gallbladder problem before I knew.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, like,
tell me more about that.
I'm just like amazed. I would be like, hey, yeah, I'm having this pain or this symptom, and everyone's like, gallbladder. I'm like, no, it's not, and 2 years later, I'm hospitalized, and I'm like, my viewers told me.
They tried to tell me.
People are so insightful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I think that's one of the great things about this, is that we do get to interact with so many people that have such a wealth of knowledge. And there's literally no way to know all of the things that our subscribers know. So it's wonderful to get that.
Yes. You have a whole just arsenal of people who know, like, I feel like people who know more than me about everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Such a wonderful part of this job. I remember, a few months ago, I needed advice from like a medical examiner, like a coroner.
Wow.
And 10 of them messaged me back on Instagram. I was like, gosh, there's no other job in the world where I could have that sort of, community. And everybody is so versatile and well-versed in different things. I'll post about something I think is so obscure. I'm like, no one has heard of this. No one has seen this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And people come out of the woodwork with facts and knowledge, and I'm like, all right,
Oh my gosh.
Here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's impressive. Like I did a random like reference to one episode of the Cosby Show in a video, and I had people like, "Oh, I remember that episode," and I was like, "Wait, what? Like, how did you know? Like, how did you know that that was from the Cosby Show Stevie Wonder episode? Like, really?
Yeah,
like you guys are amazing."
The weirdest little quote from the smallest part of a movie that no one has ever seen, and someone's like, "I like how you quoted Sword in the Stone in that video," you know.
Yeah, people are amazing. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So, like thinking about things that bring us joy in life. What are some of the things that just bring you? Because I know you bring joy to a lot of people. What are some things that bring joy to you? To Jaime French, what brings you joy?
Oh man, I've seen a lot of love this year, despite all of the terrible things. You know, people taking care of each other, supporting each other. That makes me happy. My husband, I just told him the other day on our anniversary, I was like, if I could describe you in one word, it would be happiness, because he's the happiest person. And if it doesn't matter how angry I want to be or how bad of a mood I'm in, he does some stupid little dance and he just like makes me cry laughing every day. My animals, any animal really, little kids, like I've grown as I've gotten older to have a huge love for kids, and I have 4 nephews and an honorary niece and nephew, and they've been like a huge highlight this year with everything going on.
Oh, so you've been able to see them?
Yeah, my sister lives in North Carolina, and my brother-in-law's a Marine, and you know, that's where they're stationed. So she doesn't have family there, you know, so she needs support. And
oh, that's so wonderful that you've been able to be there for her. That's fantastic. That's awesome.
They make it worth it.
Oh, that's so great. Have you considered, because maybe I missed it, but has your husband ever been on your channel?
Yeah, a couple times. And
okay.
He should just take over because people just adore him.
Oh, I need to go back and look for those videos so I can visually meet him through your videos. Yes. Yeah, he has been. Yeah. he's a nut. Sometimes he'll show up at the end of live chats when I start like running out of things to say, or if it seems like the conversation's kind of slowing down, he'll just pop in next to me and like start commenting on things. He's amazing. He's really good at that. Sick, smart, like, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I need to virtually meet him too.
Yes, he's amazing. We did a Q&A back a long time ago. It was what was it? Assumptions About Me. That's a really good one to watch to get a feel for our relationship and his personality. That's a really good one.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah. So at this point, I want to open up the questions to the people that are here live. We have about 9 minutes left, and I've gone through the questions that I wanted to ask. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll and see some things that people are saying. Oh, this is a nice one. You share your time and your creativity with us. I see it as a gift, and you do it because you want to, and we are here for that. I love that so much.
Thank you, Liz. Oh my gosh, I love the name Lizbeth. That was my nickname for my friend Elizabeth.
Oh, was it? That's a good name.
Yep,
that's a good name.
You.
Yes. Let me see this one. The video of Nick responding to all the different ways Jaime gets his attention is my all-time favorite video she's made. It always cracks me up.
Man, and that is, I obviously love that video too. I found myself hilarious in that video, and that's I think the one video on YouTube that I had to turn off the comments.
Oh, wow.
People ripped me a new one with that video.
Why?
It was like all these men coming out of the woodwork. Most of my viewers are, I feel like, I don't check my analytics often, but every now and then I catch it. My viewers are like 96% women.
Right.
And all of a sudden on that video, it was all these men coming out of the woodwork. It was just like, you are way too fat and ugly to be this annoying. He should divorce you. I would never put up with you. It was below the belt. And oftentimes I laugh stuff like that off. But when it's like your marriage and someone saying, your husband should divorce you, I was like, I can't take this anymore. So I turned it off.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level. Like that's Oh my gosh. Like, how do you type something like that out and hit send and think that you're doing something like that you should be doing? Like, how do you justify that?
I like every guy who said it, I just pictured him like being in his mom's basement, like, you know,
just awful.
Just typing like, yeah, I'm gonna say this, you know.
Awful.
That's how I coped with it.
Yes. Okay, we've got a good one from Jen Gerard from Gerard Cosmetics.
Hi, Jen.
Does anyone help you come up with your viral video ideas?
That's a good question. I was inspired by a tweet for the 90s one, and that one blew up like crazy. I can't even think of any like viral videos I've had right now. Oh, tiny hands, I kind of thought of on my own. I saw a girl on like Instagram story. She was handing things to her coworkers with tiny hands, and I was like, oh, I should do a makeup tutorial with that. It just kind of depends. Oftentimes someone plants a seed and then it, you know, grows from there.
Yes. This is a good one too. Tracy wants to know, have you ever thought about creating your own makeup brand or any other product brand?
I've definitely considered creating a clothing line, which I know probably sounds weird because I don't talk about clothing that often. But I don't think I would want to do a makeup line. I'm too afraid of what could go wrong, you know? And I don't know why I don't feel that way with clothing. Things could go wrong there too. But I think the makeup industry is a little bit more cutthroat, a little more competitive. You know, if something goes wrong with makeup, it could be potentially more dangerous or hazardous. And so I don't know. I'm going to leave that to other people, but I would love to create some sort of clothing line because I have such a hard time finding clothes. You know, I always wish I could tailor things myself.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And like, you think about all these people that start these makeup lines, like, I don't know like how they do it, because it's so much to juggle that you don't even think about as you're buying it, like what goes into, you know, a product being made, like all the layers of it and the business aspect and the money aspect of it and paying this person and, you know, the steps. And it's just like,
and I could see just never being thinking everything was okay and good and ready to launch and just never launching because I'd be afraid, you know. It'd be too stressful for me. Also, I don't like paperwork.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, yeah, there's probably people that like paperwork out there. There's probably some people.
Yeah, I feel like my sister would. She's real organized and likes spreadsheets and stuff. And
I like data.
Really?
I have to say, I do love data. Like, give me some things to calculate. Give me a spreadsheet. Give me a chart. Like, I do love that stuff. I love data.
You'd be a good friend for me to have around because I just I'm the polar opposite of that.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That's something people don't consider a lot with YouTubers, is a lot of times we're the talent, so to speak, the producer, the lighting person, the script supervisor, all that stuff. You got to be. And there's some areas where I'm just not.
And the editor and the, you know, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yes, absolutely. All right. This is a good one to go into. Jamie, what is your true passion apart from YouTube?
True passion. Man, full disclosure with you guys, I'm not an incredibly passionate person. I have depression, so there's so many things that I should be more passionate about and you know, should focus on more, and I just like I can't always muster the energy. So I guess if I had to choose, it would probably be, you know, my faith, my religious beliefs, all of that. And as far as hobbies and stuff goes, music. Just Nick complains all the time that I don't, you know, put more into music and do that more. It's like I should be so much more gung-ho, and I'm like, well, I'd rather, you know, go make a video.
Yeah. And I think that one thing, like, people ask me like, well, Jen, what are your hobbies? It's like, I edit videos and I research ingredients. Those are my hobbies. like I really, you know, it is. I really like it. I find it absolutely fascinating. But I mean, I think that YouTube, especially the way that you do it, it takes so much time. There really isn't a lot of time for other passions, you know, when you're doing all of the things. I'm always jealous of the people that can just turn on the camera and then just talk and like minimal editing and upload, and that's it. That's all they do. It's
the
like,
master of that.
Who?
The master of that is Smokey Glow.
Yeah,
Hannah.
she is. She is the master of that.
If something comes up, she's like, I want to make a video about this. And she posts it that day. And I'm like,
Oh no.
do you do that?
Like, it's just, she just talks and she edits it, she cuts it, and then that's it. And she pushes us to Zooms.
And she's incredibly well spoken. For me to be that well spoken, I would have to be reading from a script, and that's just how she talks. Like, she is amazing to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I actually had the wonderful opportunity of doing a video with her once over at her house. Really? Yeah, we did a couple of videos together. I went and visited her a couple summers ago, and I got to see all of her setup and everything. It was before her channel got really big. You know, she probably, I mean, she's still doing very well. I think she had like maybe 30,000 subscribers, something like that. I mean, it's still, I mean, if you think about, like, that's still very good.
Huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's huge. So yeah, so I went over to her house, and you know, I'm drinking my water with a metal straw. She always has metal straws, just so you know.
She always has a candle.
Always has the candle going, and we got to film together. And she just is a very fast thinker, and I am quite jealous of her ability to think quickly.
I would not want to ever get in an argument with her.
Nope.
I would lose.
Nope. Having been somebody that has gotten in a little bit of an argument with her, it was not fun. So
poor you.
It mostly involved me apologizing profusely. So it was a lot easier. So, but yeah, she's definitely a very, very fast thinker, very, very smart. And I envy her and other people who are able to just chop their videos and just put them up and be done, because I can't do that.
Same.
Yeah, never, ever. Well, Jamie, I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
One more question. This is very serious, though. So I just wanted you to put your serious face on. Very serious. Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore?
Oh my gosh. Just brought out the big guns, guys. Billy Madison.
Okay, I agree.
Only because I don't care that much about golf.
Yeah. Yes. There's something about the Stop Looking at Me Swan. Like, that one is.
Yes. Yeah. And Miss Lippy. People, you know, Miss Lippy is underrated.
Underrated. Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for coming on live chat. I really appreciate it. I hope that you had fun. I hope the audience had fun.
It was an honor. Thank you guys. And thank you so much to everybody who tuned in.
Yes. And I will be adding all of Jamie's socials and everything. But if you would like to let them know where they can find you if they're not familiar.
Yes, YouTube and Facebook. It's just my name, Jaime French, but make sure Jamie is spelled correctly. Instagram, Jamie.French. Twitter, Jamie Pants with 2 S's.
I love that one.
High school nickname.
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you again, Jamie. And thank you to everybody for watching. And mad love to you. And we will see you in videos very, very soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen. Bye, guys.
You're welcome. Bye.